Okay, everybody, we're about to start a second episode of Jay's car. Some work has been done since we saw the frame loaded into the trailer and transported back to begin its assembly. And Jay, can you take us around now and show us where you're at?
Sure. Starting with the front, it's a standard Woody car front end. And I've begun to put the axle and the torsion bars together, including the radius rods. I've got a little reaming to do for the drag link. That's why it's not on. And of course, the spindle arms and spindles come next.
The frame looks beautiful.
The frame it's powder coated, and it was done by Electrotech, a sprint car guy by the name of Adam Mitchell, and I think he really did an outstanding job. It's smooth. There are no dry spots on the thing. He really took care of it. Did a nice job. Said he would never ride in one, but he said he would. Did a nice job.
Now tell me about the tank.
Well, I think we got a little carried away with the tank, but it's just about 7 gallons. But there's another way to look at that. I can fill it once a week and come back a week later and might have to put some more in it. But I think it'll be all right. It's about 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches for the stainless braided line. It's a -16 line.
Who did the tank for you?
Freddie did the tank. Freddie Hayhurst did the chassis, the tank, the sheet metal, which is parked around here.
Oh, that's right. You see those too.
And I'm just the assembler in this mess. But he really did a nice job.
Can you show me the components that you have back here for the brakes and the steering box and all that?
Most of the stuff on the rear end is all strange. The steering, the axles, the hats, and so on. Couplers are Lenco because this happens to be a 29 spline Chrysler rear end. But just fitting things together to make certain that they work properly.
Willwood brakes?
Willwood brakes. The hats that Strange uses, or the caliper brackets that Strange uses, fit both their own calipers and Willwood calipers. And since I had the Willwood calipers, that's what I chose to use. And then I used a Willwood master cylinder, and they recommended that I use a pretty fair sized master cylinder, so we did that at the same time. That's my Mike Cool push bar.
Yeah, You adapted.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then one of the things with the calipers on top of the rear end. Initially, I thought that the calipers were going to be back here on the side.
Right.
With them on the top, it's kind of a pain because you have to stand these things up on end in order to be able to bleed them. So I decided I'd just use a -3 braided line and do that instead of trying to figure out some other way to do it with a hard line, which never works. So that was that. But that's
very nice.
Basically all your own plain business coupe deal.
Right.
And since Tommy and I each had I had an 8-foot cable for my fuel shut off, and I could wrap it around the motor a couple of times. So we went out and got us a new one, and I think it'll just make it. It's a 6-footer.
Be going around which side of the motor?
The
right side?
Down the right side, yeah. It doesn't make any difference whether it goes down the right or the left side, but I think it just keep it away from the throttle is right down here, and the the throttle pedal actually sits down here and goes across the top. So, and you can see that the heim end would go right here and go straight up to the bell housing, or past the bell housing.
Right.
So I think it'd be easier if it's on the right side than the left. You know, as soon as I drill the hole in the motor plate, I'll find out that I got to move it to the other side.
Right. Sure. Well, she's looking beautiful right now. A lot of wonderful pieces. A lot of great assembly.
Freddie did something that I really liked, and I made the suggestion, and I'll show you on the motor plate and the Ronnie Hampshire shifter.
Okay, we're on our way.
But the can,
yeah,
the can will sit like so.
Yeah.
And this is the in and out coupler thing that's the Ronnie. Similar to what you have on the Magic Car, except that instead of pulling it across the top, mine goes across the bottom.
Right.
And this piece from where my finger is to here fits inside the step on that on the pinion support, and therefore looks like it's just one piece. And it turned out very nicely. I was real pleased with that.
Good.
But, much as I hate polishing aluminum, and then I do stupid stuff like this.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful.
But that's that. And the only thing that isn't done is the motor plate, and of course the paint. And I have no idea what I'm going to do not about paint, but colors and so on.
Sure. It'll come to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about the motor.
It's a 354. And it was built about a year and a half ago, and it was going to be used as an interim deal in Ron Johnson's Carmesini's car. And found a little bit of a problem with it, and Ron got his thing back together in time, so went ahead, and it's just been sitting here getting started periodically, just having fun. But this is what's going in the car.
Well, I remember when you offered this up in case the motor that was going to be in the chiseler couldn't make it from back east. And
yeah.
That was great. That was a load off his mind to know that at least he had a motor one way or the other. Okay, and those body panels, anything? You've been doing anything to those guys at all?
Well, no. I mean,
They're just waiting.
They're just waiting.
Waiting for you to be inspired to decide what you're going to do as far as paint and letter and all that, right?
Yeah. And first things first. It also requires money, so that means
that's true.
It doesn't all happen at once.
Yep. Well, thanks for the tour.
And one thing's got to be mentioned.
What?
Because this is a pretty nice place.
Yes.
And this thing belongs to Kenny Blackmore, and an absolute prince of a guy, and he really deserves an attaboy. He's got some neat stuff here, and it's a lot of fun to work out of here.
And how long have you known Ken?
I've known Ken since he bought the Poison Ivy, which was, I think, 4 years ago. Was that right? 4 years ago?
Not sure.
Something like
Can't
that.
remember.
And he has the most heavy-duty engine stand.
Oh yeah,
Running a
Tommy's
motor.
in love with the engine stand.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. We're going to see that
Put a
now.
Chrysler on this thing, and but as you can see, there is a Chrysler on it right now. And you can run those things until the headers drop off, and it ain't going anywhere.
I told Kenny that I thought we needed something to be able to light the motor so we could.
Right.
And he had one of his guys at the shop build this thing. And it's really nice. I mean, it holds enough fuel in it so you like Tommy said, you can the headers have drooped, but it gives us an opportunity.
To get some of the bugs
Sure.
without putting the motor in the car.
Wow.
And and you don't need to get the motor in the car, out of the car, in the car, and out of the car. And this engine, right, this happens to be one that I finished a month or so ago, a couple of months ago. And it's a spare.
How nice.
Well, the other thing that's nice about it is if you have any type of oil leak or anything, you can see it. You know, there it is. You know, it's real.
Yep, you're up
right
high.
out there where you can see it. It's just a winner.
Wow. Wonderful. Well, thanks, Kenny, for helping us out with all this stuff.
Yeah.